For a couple of years before I was ordained, I was blessed to help out in a parish in Waukegan, St. Joseph Parish, with 3 of my classmates. And we combined kind of being parish janitors and doing things during the summer with also starting a drop-in teen center. We storefront drop-in teen center. We worked with the liturgical team in the parish. We helped with the RCIA program. We visited the children in the school. We had a lot to do and to work in the parish, and part of it is what led me to the conclusion that I indeed wanted to be ordained and wanted to be a priest. And so way back in May in 1973, I was ordained. The reason Father Francis isn't here in his work prior to coming here as vocation director, he encouraged a lot of young men and worked with them. And today he's celebrating 2 of their first masses at different parishes. So he couldn't be here today, but it's great that he can be with them and celebrate his working with them. Because we were ordained in May, right after we were ordained, it came time to celebrate the feast of the Ascension of Jesus into heaven, and also the month where we honored Mary. And so St. Joseph School, the principal invited me back to come and to do their Ascension Thursday Mass. It was celebrated not on Sundays in those days, but on the Thursday. And so I was really excited. First time I was going to be as a priest preaching and celebrating a Mass. So I had to make one stop in the drive from Mundelein to Waukegan. I made the stop, but I was still afraid I was running late, and I didn't want to be late for the Mass. So as I was driving, I sped up a little bit. And one of the things you need to know is one of the jobs we did this summer before we were ordained, we resealed the blacktop of the parking lot. That's a lot of hot work to do. And we also dug a hole, a couple of holes, and put in poles so we could string basketball nets up for the kids as well. And that was where I was going to park my car and go into church and celebrate Mass for the kids. But to my surprise, the kids were still outside playing. The teacher smartly said, well, let's wait till Father gets here before we go into the church. And so I got there and the kids were all in the parking lot, and I knew I had to swing wide around them. I didn't want to drive through them. So I'm swinging right around them and they see me, hey, and I look at me, I'm a priest now, waving back at them, that kind of thing. Feeling really good, and I wasn't looking where I was going, and I encountered one of the basketball posts. Slammed into that post in front of 300 cheering children. That was the neatest thing they've seen in a long time. And our fear that those posts wouldn't be solid enough in the ground were totally unfounded. The place I had stopped before coming over to church was a little store that had ready for me 25 or 30 helium-filled balloons that I'd stuffed in the back seat of my car. And I was going to use that in the homily with the kids. Yeah, a little cheesy, I know. Look at the balloon going up just like Jesus went up. Not the best theology in the world, but I thought it was kind of neat. So, boom, I hit this post. I see stars. I literally broke my steering wheel in half. My nose broke the steering wheel in half. The steering wheel replied by breaking my nose in half. I opened the car door, literally fell out the car door, and I'm looking at the kids, and they're still cheering and applauding. I'm going, what is going on? And I look over at the car, and one at a time, the balloons are floating out of the car up into the heavens. That was my homily. I wasn't able to go into church to preach that day. That was it. So every time I celebrate Mass on the Feast of the Ascension, I think of those balloons and I realize If nothing had happened, I would have preached a very incomplete homily. I would have made some kind of comparison that we've got to in our lives, carry ourselves up into heaven just like Jesus did. The thing I didn't realize at the time, and I realize now, not just because of what happened that day, but the experience of 47 more years after that day, is that yes, we're called to be more than who we are, to lift ourselves up. But sometimes things get in our way and we slam right into them. And it stops us cold in our tracks, cold in our lifts going up. It really and truly does. And not only that, these are things that we've created. I put that post in that ground. We put the cement around it. We wanted to make sure it wasn't going to fall over. Well, we did a little bit too good a job. We create our own obstacles in life. We really and truly do. And so the message of this feast of the Ascension of Jesus, yes, Jesus trusts us so much that he leaves us physically, but he stays within us. And it's our task to share his presence, his love, his compassion, his working for justice, his generosity, his hope with others. And in the process, we not only lift ourselves up higher, but we bring the people who we're able to share Jesus' love with. That's what we do. And that's what we're called to do. And we can't let the things of life get in our way. And children, you're filled with the presence of Jesus. But who knows where your life is going to lead you? Who knows what challenges there will be? Who knows what life's experiences will give you? Yes, there'll be great moments of joy and happiness and love that you're going to share in your life. But there'll be moments you're going to be challenged. Accept the challenge. Don't block yourself from rising up. Parents and other adults here today, look at your own life. Yes, you've given your children so much. You've raised them up. And in the process, hopefully, you've lifted yourself up. And we keep needing to rise. We keep needing to go up. We keep needing to know that we can always be there with the Lord. The Lord will always be there with us. We need to know that we are there with the Lord so we can share that loving presence with others constantly and consistently, whatever the needs might be. We can't do it alone. We need each other. Children need their parents. Parents need each other. We need our friends. We need our family. We need our faith community. But even more than that, there are times we need to turn to the heavens and say, I'm stuck like lead. The balloon isn't rising. I need to move my life from the place it is right at this moment. That's when we turn to Mary, the mother of Jesus. We celebrate her going up into heaven. We call it the Assumption of Mary into heaven. Well, we're not going to do it the way they did, but by our very faith in our life, our spirits can soar. And that's what we want them to do. That's why we honor Mary. That's why we celebrate Jesus today in this special way. We have so much life to live still. Is it in that path upward? What's blocking it? What's slamming us into the pole? What do we need to drive around? How do we need to keep going up? How can we share that love? How can we let that love grow in us? Which happens when we share it. It fills us up even more. That's the feast of the Ascension into heaven. Rising us up, lifting us up. Let this be an example for us. We walk out of the doors of the church today, leave all that stuff behind that's weighing us down. Have faith, trust, hope, and then share that one with each other out the doors of the church and into all the tomorrows that we have that will continue to lift us up. And when we need help, We turn to each other. We need special help. We turn to our Blessed Mother. We need even more help. We turn to our loving Lord. And somehow all of this together bring us one day to the eternity of heaven, where every tear will be wiped away, and we'll embrace each other in the eternity of heaven for the eternity of heaven. It's time to let ourselves be lifted up.